Isabella.
Yes.
Hi.
Up-Issabella.com.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so I want to understand what's going on. Why do you want to resign? I guess you went in yourself, isn't it? So what is going on that is making you
Up-Issabella.com.
want to bow out like that?
Okay, so in the first place, before we started the competition, we signed a contract, but it was a combined contract. It was a contract for the winner, the first and second runner-up.
Okay.
And in that contract, the prices were listed, which is a car, a monthly allowance, and then
Up-Issabella.com.
products from sponsors.
Okay.
And also for the winner, a chance to represent Ghana at Miss World.
Okay.
And for the runner-ups too, you get a chance to represent Ghana in other international pageants.
Okay.
So 2 weeks to finale, they called us and told us that there is no going to be a car. There will be no car for the winner because their sponsors, their car sponsors haven't assured them, and they are saying that due to COVID, they can't sponsor a car.
Okay.
So that's what they told us 2 weeks to the finale. So they were just letting us know. And they made us sign a contract, like a small piece of agreement, a small agreement on a piece of paper that there will be no car. So we all agreed to that.
Okay, so
But they told
you are
us
telling me
that
that there was an initial contract where they said they were going to give you a car and
Yes.
all that, and then they revised that agreement with a subsequent agreement saying that. So
Yes.
at that stage, why would you still continue? Why did you continue? Because you know you were not going to get anything, isn't it?
No, they said just the car.
Okay,
it was
so-
just the car that, but gave us an assurance that even though there will be no car, we'll be picked up from our various. If you have to win or become a runner-up, you'll be picked up from your various homes to any event or any program.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that was what they told us.
Okay.
But after we won, after the crowning and everything, they brought the first contract we signed. They took the contract back from us, which was a combined one.
So
They took it back from all the
you signed the
contracts.
contract. You didn't have a copy, and you just gave it back to them like that.
No. Yes.
Why? How old are you?
Please, I'm 19.
19. You have a phone, isn't it?
Yes.
So why didn't you take pictures of this contract? Or you didn't think it was necessary, or why? Because now, what if they say that you didn't sign any contract?
I didn't really know how all these things work. I didn't really understand how those, and that was my first contract I've ever signed in my life. I didn't know how things work around such
But
situations.
my worry each year is that I'm sure you're on the internet. We've other contestants of Miss Ghana, they've come up with a lot of accusations and stuff in relation to this same pageant. Didn't you hear any of them?
No.
You didn't?
It was after I joined, I got to know about everything, like with the past queens.
Okay, all right, go on. So you said they took the first contract from you, right?
Yes, yes.
And then
after work.
So when you say they took it, who actually took the contract from you, from your hands, after you've signed it?
It was our chaperone. She said management said we should return it.
What is the name of this chaperone, if you do know?
Miss Leila, Miss Ghana 2018 first runner-up.
Miss Ghana
She
what?
was our chaperone.
Come again?
2018 first runner-up.
Miss Ghana 2018 first runner-up. So she is your chaperone, and she took the contract from you.
No, our chaperone. Yes.
So with the contract, how did you guys sign it? Was somebody there, or did you guys, were you given chances to show it a lawyer or an adult person or anybody that would have
Up-Issabella.com.
what these contracts are saying?
They gave it to us, I think, They gave it to us and asked us to bring it the next day.
Okay, so you are allowed to
Or
take
I
it home.
think 2 days later. Pardon?
You are allowed to take it home.
Yes.
And even that you didn't make copies.
No.
Okay, all right, go on. So, and then what then becomes of it? So, after the contract, that was the first contract you said.
Yes.
And
so
then
after they told us about the car issue and they said we're still going to be picked from our homes to wherever we're going. And then 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks to the finals. So after the finals, we went to the office and they gave us another contract. That was the separated one, because initially it was combined. It included the one for the queen, the first and second runner. So
Okay.
this time it was just my position was just for the first runner up. But
okay, so
that
the
contract,
with the second contract you're talking about, at that time had you won the first runner-up competition, or was it before the pageant itself?
it was after I won.
So after you won, then there was another contract.
Yes.
So you signed a collective contract that sort of says what everybody will get, if I'm trying to understand you, if you win as the male winner or the first or second runner-up. That was what you signed first.
Yes.
And then
but
after,
in that contract, the contract was for the winner, first and second runner-up. It was all combined. But this time they separated it.
okay, so this
now
time,
they
because
had a winner,
yes, okay, there was definite winner, so you had to sign a contract in relation to
yes.
your position.
Yes.
All right, and then what did that contract say, or what became of it?
We realized that there was no price in that new contract. The monthly allowance wasn't in there. And also, we didn't even sign the second one. They photocopied our signature of the first contract we signed and then kept it in the second contract and just gave it to us. So there was no chance to agree to it.
Oh, wow.
Saying it's the same thing, but we realized it wasn't the same thing.
Are you sure about
We
this?
confronted them several times and they said it's the same contract. There is no difference in it.
So if it's the same contract, there's no difference in it. Why do you need it again? You've already signed it, isn't it? So why the second incident again?
They were telling us that now it's separate now, like, because initially they didn't know who was winning and who was first and second, so they just give us a combined one. But this one is clearly indicating your position and then what it entails for you.
Okay.
So that was why they gave us the second contract, but we didn't sign that one. It was a photocopy of our old signature of the first one that they inserted in it.
Are you sure about this?
Yes, they gave it to us. I even have it here, and it's a printed signature.
Okay, all right. When we are done talking,
So we didn't have the chance.
Send me pictures of
that
it,
one.
and then let me see if you can take pictures of it and let me see what it is. All right, and then go on. So after that contract, then what?
So they were like, if we think they've changed some of the statements and we have proof, we can come and show it to them. But unfortunately, all the other girls I asked says they don't have. It was just one girl said she had a copy of it, but she gave it to her lawyer and her lawyer had traveled, so she couldn't get it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, what even makes it like, what proves that is there was a monthly allowances. I remember there was this time during the competition when they gave us the the document to sign. Some of the girls were discussing about the monthly allowance and they were saying the money wasn't enough. So the thing is, if there was no monthly allowance as they are saying in the first contract, how come the girls are discussing that, this money is not enough?
Okay.
We said it and they said, since we don't have any proof, then what we are saying is not valid. So we said, okay, if there is no fine, we don't have a proof that they are going to give us monthly allowance. So how do we move about? Because they told us they were going to give us pick us from our homes, but nothing like that has ever happened. They expect us to use we use our own money for Uber and everything to go everywhere, like for every program, interviews, programs. We use our own money for Uber. We complain and they don't mind us. Now, it got to a time they told us if Uber is being a problem, then we can be using Chocho.
Really? Who told you that?
Yes.
No,
Our chaperone.
Your chaperone told you this. So you the Miss Ghana winner, should use Chocho.
Yes, because we were complaining to her, and she was saying if we can't afford the Uber, then we should use we should be using Chocho.
So from what you are saying, you went into a competition that had no price for anybody at all, isn't it? Is that what they are saying? And you just wanted to be part of it. You just wanted the name that you've won Miss Ghana, and you don't get anything.
From the beginning, there was the prize. From the beginning, we didn't know that was what was going to happen. Because from the beginning, we all knew there was a car, there was a monthly allowance, products from sponsors, and a whole lot. But in the end, everything was opposite.
Okay, all right. So
everything was opposite.
Okay, so
and they told us they can't provide monthly allowance because of COVID.
And then
the car too.
Okay, so no monthly allowance, no car. So what did you get?
Yes. Nothing.
Nothing.
We even went for an interview on TV and we were asked on TV, and the Queen said nothing. She only had a crown in her sash.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So somebody would argue you agree to be part of a competition that gives nothing to you. Maybe there is some sort of other benefits. Maybe because you get to be on TV, it would be the benefit. But why are you resigning? And what has become of this, your resignation?
We didn't agree. That wasn't the agreement from the beginning.
Okay,
because we didn't know that they were going to give us nothing. We all knew that it came with a price. But in the end, they changed everything.
Okay, all right.
We didn't agree to this. That wasn't the initial agreement.
Okay, so you said they changed it. They said they didn't change it. You have no evidence of the old contract.
Yes.
You just have the new contract.
Yes.
So, how are you going to prove that they changed this contract?
That's the thing.
Because my worry is you people are quite young.
But
all
the girls, all the other contestants who didn't even win or get to finals can testify to it, because they told us that we can ask our friends if they saw it.
People's testimony. My issue with Miss Ghana is that every year you guys come up with these things. It's ridiculous for me why you be given a contract to take home overnight. You didn't even take pictures of it. Even if you know you don't have a photocopier, you can take pictures of these contracts. So that if they change it later on, you know, you've changed it. Because they are saying that, the first contract didn't have any price. Of course, they will say that. You have no evidence of it. Isn't it? Because these conversations we are having, to me, it's like a deja vu. It's the same thing all the time. It happens. Other people said,
then we found out that even our food sponsors have contributed towards buying a car for Miss Ghana 2020, but they told us there was no car.
How do you know the food sponsors?
Told us.
How do you know the food sponsors have contributed money?
One guy from a restaurant who sponsors us told the Queen that he's surprised that he doesn't have a car, because his boss says that they've been collecting too much money from them, and that they even came to collect money from them, saying they are going to buy a car, and that they want to even cancel their contracts, their sponsorship contracts with them, because they demand too much money from them.
But that is hearsay. And then what did you guys ask in a party about it?
No, it was just recently I found out. The girl told me recently. She also found out recently.
Okay, so tell me about the events that have led to your resignation, and what has become of that resignation itself.
So the reason why I resigned is because it's becoming too much. Like, they are not doing anything about it, about our transportation and everything. We were supposed to have a Vows Day shoot. Was it last week Friday or last week's Friday? And they were telling us every time we have a shoot, they'll give us pressure to go and look for clothes. We don't have money. We are not working. How do we get these clothes? How do we get these shoes? They tell us the kind of shoes they want us to wear, the kind of hair they want us to do. And they expect us to use our own money to do all these things.
Who tells you to do that?
His name is Isaac. He's, I think, in his personal assistant, so he's in charge of everything. He's in charge of everything.
Okay, so there's an Isaac and there's Ina.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then when Isaac calls you, does he send you text messages or does he call?
Pardon?
How does Isaac contact you? Because I want to understand, when he calls you to say, look, go and look for these shoes.
On WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, he sends you messages.
Yes.
So why don't you tell him?
Sometimes we do conference call
Okay.
on WhatsApp.
All right. If you can send me some of these messages to have a look. But my question was going to be, why don't you tell Isaac I cannot afford it, and then?
I told him that I cannot afford it. He'll tell us we should go on IG, and there are a lot of designers there. We can talk to them for them to give us this. And then you go on IG, you talk to them. No one even wants to listen to you. When you come back and you tell him, he will tell you that you haven't pushed enough. You should go out there and look for clothes.
So you have to go and look for clothes to come and shoot. What photos? Yes. For what? For what really?
Photo shoots.
Now, what are you going to do with the photo shoot? Like, what is the intended purpose? What did they do with the pictures?
Like, for instance, we had a Christmas shoot. He told me on, I think, Saturday that we are having the shoot on Tuesday. And he was expecting me to get the dress within that 2-3 days.
Now, what I'm saying is that, what do they do with these photos? What is that?
They just post it on social media.
That's it.
Yes.
And you have to go. So you are telling me you accept to go through hustling to get, clothing and shoes to, take pictures just to post on social media. You don't get anything in return.
No, they don't give us, even our transportation, they don't give us. I remember in December, we had a project, Clothe a Child. So we did some donations to an orphanage in Buchi, but I stay at Awishi. So he was like, we are supposed to meet at Melcom in Buchi. But from Melcom to the orphanage is just like a 3-minute drive. You can even walk to the place. So I was telling him, he said we should meet then, that he'll pick us up there. So I was saying from Awoshi to Buchi, my transportation is 50 cedis. From here to that place is 50 cedis. So if he could pick us up at the mall. And the second runner-up is also coming from Kwabinya, and the girl who won is also coming from Alajo. So we're all complaining that we can't afford transportation all the way from our homes to Buche. So if he could pick us up at the mall, because that will save cost. He told us no, he can't pick us up at the mall because there's water in his car. So we should find our way there. So I told him that then if that's the case, I'm sorry, I will not be present for the occasion. I can't make it. So all these conversations were on the main group where Miss Ina is there and all the organizers.
Okay.
So later he called me to say, why am I saying all these things in the group and that I'm not understanding, I don't want to understand him. And I also told him that I also don't have money, so how do you expect me to come all the way to that place? And also I have to go to sponsors to take
do you have evidence of some of these conversations that,
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Would you be able to send them to me?
I have screenshots.
If you have screenshots, at least
Yes.
you've done well for keeping a screenshot of something. Because I'm quite worried that even your contract, you didn't have a copy of it. Anyway, so for you, your resignation, from what you are telling me, is based on the fact that what they are demanding you to spend money that you don't have.
Yes, and it's becoming too much. So I realized I couldn't continue anymore. Besides, school is about to reopen, so I just decided to forget about this and just focus on my education.
But when you were going for the pageant, didn't you know you were in school?
I knew, but I didn't know that this is the struggles that were going to come with it. And initially, they even wanted me to defer.
Well, they asked
If
you
I
to defer.
should choose something over my school, then it means that thing should be worth it. But here's the case: I'm not getting anything from it, so I can't ignore school and continue with a job that doesn't pay.
So you're not getting paid as you think you were promised. They're also asking you to spend.
Nothing.
They're asking you to spend money that you don't have. All right. So
Yes.
are your parents aware of this?
Yes.
And what did they say?
Everyone is fed up. They are all saying I should resign, and that they all didn't know that this is how it will be. Because from the kind of Miss Ghana they know in those days, it's not like this. So if this is the case, then I should just resign and focus on school. That's what everyone is saying.
Okay, so based on that, you've resigned. You've sent in your resignation letter, you said.
Yes, but they are telling me that they are not accepting the letter.
So if they don't accept the letter, are they going to force you to show up at events, or how is this going to work?
So Ina called me and she asked me first. The Mr. Isaac called me and he was like, he's in town, but when he gets to the office, he will call me back. And he said, why am I resigning, that if there is any issue, we can discuss it. And that if I resign, people will say they've started their things again. But when I was about to send the letter, my mom told me that she doesn't want things to be stretched. So we should just tell them that I have to go and work and find money to go back to school. So that was what she wanted me to tell them, because we've complained about the pressure and the money issues so many times, and they've not done anything about it. So her idea was to tell them that this is the case and that I have to go and work and find money for school, so I'm resigning. But when I sent the letter, Isaac was like, if I do this, people will say this, and I sang for they've started their things again. And I said, what thing? I asked him what things. Then he said he's in town, so when he gets to the office, he will call me. So Miss Ina's sister called me. She is not in Ghana. She called me and she asked me, she said what's going on, and that she has heard that I'm resigning. And I told her the same thing, what I wrote in the letter. And she was like, am I sure that's the reason, or there are other things that I'm not telling them? And that if that's the case, then they'll pay my fees, and that I should talk to Miss Ina. She will talk to her for them to pay my fees if I'm saying that's the problem. And I told her that I don't want, I told her I can't work with the brand anymore. I told her that.
No, but if they have money to pay for your fees, why don't they have money to give you the monthly allowance or the transport?
I asked that. From what I know, Miss Ghana, they said when Ina called me, she said, if that's the case, I don't have a problem, because that's why the foundation is there. The foundation pays people's fees and supports each other. So when her sister called me, she said that, I asked her that, so how come the foundation has money to pay people's fees, but the foundation cannot provide transportation for the queens that are reigning queens, but has money to pay for other people's fees? So I was like, wow. So I just realized that maybe they didn't want me to resign or something, because it doesn't make sense for you to say you're paying someone's fees, but you can't afford to pay transportation.
So in
So I was a bit confused.
so in total, how much do you think you spent on this pageant so far? Your transportation, your clothing, your whatever you've been spending your monies on. About how much have you spent
It's
on
a
this?
lot. I haven't calculated. By a day, I spend about 150 to 200 cedis anytime we go for events.
So you give me
Because
a
sometimes we don't only go to one place. We go to 2 or 3 places in a day sometimes.
so give me an estimate, at least out of your head, if you can't give a rough estimate. That look, I've spent this, I've spent that, and because
I haven't really got the time to calculate, but it's a lot. We've really spent a lot because my mom really gives me a lot. Like, she's really been giving me a lot of money ever since we were crowned, just for transportation. She's never given me money like that before.
okay. So you believe that look, this is not worth your time and everything.
No.
And then about the other girls, so why are they still in there? Also, if that is the situation, why do you think? Do you talk to them? What is it like?
Initially, we were all complaining. We all weren't happy. Up to now, they are still not happy. Even when I sent the letter, and they were told that I'm resigning because of school. I also told them the same thing. But the girl she knew that wasn't my reason for resigning, because she's also in the same situation. So she was like, I know it's not easy, but I shouldn't have resigned. And I asked her why. She said I should have just waited. And I asked her, waited for what? Because this is too much for me to handle. And so I don't know their reason for still being in the there.
Is it that maybe they are paying their transport for them and you don't know, or they are not spending as much as you are, or that they've gotten something that you?
They are because when we are going for events, we go to the girl who won. We always go to her house first before we all move together. So it's like we are all in the same soup, but I don't know why they decided to still.
So every event that you guys have gone to, you've used your money. You've used what is it, Uber, and there's no official car to go there with.
No, it was only when we were going for sponsorship appreciation. We the next week after we were crowned, that was when they took us with the official car to sponsors to say thank you. So that was it.
So apart from the money, the money issues you've outlined, is there something else again that is perhaps bothering you, or that's it for you?
I would say they don't really care about us. Like, they don't take care of us like how a management team is supposed to take care of their queens. They don't treat us well. Because how can you tell us, we should go and take church? And another issue too is, when we're complaining about our transportation and all, they told us that the foundation doesn't have money to sponsor us. So if that's the case, then we should go and buy handkerchiefs, print the Miss Ghana logo on it, and then sell when we go to events, or when we can even go to the mall to go and sell it. When we sell it to people, we tell them, they should just donate to the foundation. So we give them the handkerchief and then they donate. So that money will be our transportation. But the handkerchief and the printing, we are buying the handkerchief ourselves. And after we get the money, we should bring the money to the office. They'll allocate the money to us. Like, they'll share the money for us.
Who came up with this idea? Exactly.
That was what our chaperone said. And also, Miss Inez' sister said we should be holding jars when we go for interviews or we go to events. We tell people to donate to the foundation, so that money will be out.
Ina Pati's sister said that to you?
Yes.
Does Ina know about all these things?
I'm sure she knows. She should know, because her sister, everything they discuss with us, they give her the feedback.
So,
everything that
so what is this her sister's role? in this?
She's part of the management team. Okay. I don't know exactly what she does, but she's part of the management team.
How do you?
But she's not in Ghana, so she communicates with us from outside.
Okay, so is it through WhatsApp as well, as you said?
Yes, WhatsApp.
And you say you have screenshots of some of these conversations.
Yes.
So now
with our last shoot that we're supposed to do, I didn't go for that shoot because I sent my letter on that Monday, and then the Friday they had the shoot. Before I sent my letter, they were pressing me, asking me, have I gotten, am I ready for the shoot? Have I gotten my clothes and everything for the shoot? There was this girl who did makeup for me. She's a makeup artist. She was a former contestant for Miss Ghana. She did makeup for me, and she posted on Instagram. So when Inner Party sister saw the makeup, she said she liked that makeup, so the girl should come and do makeup for me on the Friday for the Vows Day shoot. Mm-hmm. And I was telling, and the girl was, they told us to get some stones that we use for the makeup and all. So I told the girl about it, and she said if she will have to come and do the makeup for me, then I have to cater for her transportation and also buy the stones and other things, which all would be like 200 cedis. Because she told me the things she was going to buy was 150. So her makeup, like her transportation in and out, to be like, let's say 50 cedis. So all was supposed to be like 200 cedis. I told her about it, that the girl said I should buy these things and also pay for her transportation. She was like, Veronica is your sister, so tell her to come and do it for free. And the girl said she couldn't come without me providing her transport. So that means I'm supposed to pay for that money. And the dress and the shoes too, I'm supposed to, like, they were pressuring me to go and get dresses. And I told them that I can't get any dress for the shoot. So when I sent my letter on Wednesday, that Inez sister sent me a message saying that she heard that I said I'm not coming for the shoot, but I should come for the shoot because it's important. It's very important to them, and that they are ready to provide my dresses and everything. That was after I sent the letter.
After you resigned.
Yes.
So,
but I told her that I am not coming, so I didn't go for the shoot.
So since your resignation, what has been the communication with them?
It was the Monday and then the Tuesday. I sent the letter on Monday, so Monday and Tuesday that they called me and they spoke to me and all. And then after the day we had a shoot, Isaac called me in the morning, and I told him that I already told you I wasn't coming for the shoot, so I'm sorry, I can't be there. So in the afternoon, Miss Inez's sister also texted me on WhatsApp, but I didn't reply. She said she heard I'm not coming for the shoot. That was all she said. And then later on too, I saw Miss Inez. I missed her call. So after that, they haven't called me again. Okay. So I spoke to a lawyer, and he advised me that I should return their sash to them, because in the contract it states that you cannot resign unless you are sick. But if you are not sick and you resign, you have to pay for all the money they've spent on you after you've been after you were crowned. You have to pay for all the money and return forfeit all your, like the crown, the sash, and other prizes that comes with it. But I don't have any prizes, so it's only the sash. So that was what I returned to them. So, and from what I know, they've not spent any money on me.
So you've rather spent your money, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you don't get that money back?
No.
Okay. So you've mentioned Isaac. I don't think I have Isaac's number, but I have Inet's number. Can you send me Isaac's number as well? I will try to contact them to get to hear what they have to say in relation to this. That's if they will talk. They usually don't want to say anything. It's quite a tradition. That's something they do anyway. So, but to me, if you've resigned,
So
you've
when I
resigned.
sent the message, my mom, they called my mom, but my mom was busy at work. My mom doesn't live in Accra; she lives in Takade. She was busy at work when they called her, so she couldn't talk to them. But the second runner-up texted me, and she was trying to tell me about the fact that they said if I'm resigning, then I'll have to pay them for all the money they used to organize the pageants from the beginning.
Seriously?
Yes.
Really? How?
Yes. I don't know. They are saying that sentence in the contract, that's what it means.
No,
But not
there may be that.
what I'm thinking, that I'll have to pay them for the money they've spent on me after I
So
resigned.
so
No,
you
after I
will
was
pay for the money they used to organize the pageant because you've resigned.
Yes.
Because
Yes. So she was telling me what they said. So she was trying to tell me what was going on.
all right, don't worry. Perhaps you end up in court. They will ask you to pay all the money, millions of cedis, maybe. I have no idea, but it's quite laughable. Why, to me, they would say that. It's something somebody's telling you also. So maybe they will say they've not said that, and it doesn't.
She was telling me it looks like I'll have to come for our next project because they said they've not accepted my letter, and that this is what they are saying, that I'll have to pay for the money they used to organize the pageants for me.
So what do you intend to do now? You want to go for the next project, or would you go, or what is it?
No, I'm not going. I'm done. I'm done with Miss Ghana. I'm not continuing.
Okay. All right. You send me the contract that you said your signatures were printed on it or were embossed on it, and then also send me the screenshots that you said you have. I will try to contact them and to hear if they have anything to say. Perhaps, to me, if you had the initial contract, or if you can actually get me the first contract, then we could actually compare the two contracts, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So send me what information you have, and then we will take it from there. It's something that happens all the time. I every year there's one of these things, or perhaps two. So to me, it's quite common. My worry is the fact that people, or you said you didn't even know that there has been such a matter in the media, and at your age.
I had just completed secondary school, so I never knew about anything, and I wasn't really active on social media when I was in school.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know about all these things. It was after I joined, and even with everything that is happening now, there are a lot of young girls who still text me that they want to come for Miss Ghana. So these girls are also in my shoes. They don't know what's going on. I don't think someone will know about all this and still want to put themselves in such a situation. There are lots of young girls who text me all the time on IG that they want to come for Miss Ghana, how do they audition, and they want to know what they can do to be selected.
Celebrities.com.
Oh, okay. All right.